Hello everyone, welcome back to Debug Diaries. I am Manharshi Jadeja, and in this episode of a Blazor crash course, we are going to learn that how you guys can implement the REST APIs in the Blazor. So just for the better understanding purposes, you guys can move to the 1.5x playback speed. Okay, so regarding the last episode, we have discussed about the dependency injections. We have gone through the life cycle of the services. So I hope you guys are clear about that. If you have any doubt and regarding that, you can comment it down below. Yeah, so let's get started with the REST API. So before getting started with the REST API, we have to create a simple REST API, and for that demo purposes, you guys can use the some online fake APIs as well. But for the purposes to demonstrate how you can implement APIs as well in the particular demo, let me create the some basic API in our this project. So as we have already implemented this product page, so you guys are already aware about this, that we have one product model in which we have a name, price and description. So now what we will do, that we will create a two API. One will one will be for the get product, and one will be the for insert product. So we will get the product from that API and we will insert that product with the HTTP client. So at the end of this video, you guys are able to identify that with the use of HTTP client, how you can implement the REST APIs. So throughout this video, we will demonstrate get and post APIs, but similar to that, you are able to implement the all, like put, delete and all. So let's get started. So as I have to implement the API, so I have to create the first controller. So let me define the one folder with the controller. In this we will create a one controller. What will give the, let me, for the purposes of a demonstration, we will create the MVC empty controller, right? So you guys can get a more idea. Okay, this will be our product controller. Okay, so now we have to inherit this with our base controller. Okay, as we are not able to inherit with base controller, why? We have to inherit the, or I can say add the dependency of a controller. So what we have to do, that first we have to add builder.services.add controllers. Okay, so we have successfully added the controller services. Now we have to map this controller as well. So now app.map controllers. So here you have successfully binded the controllers. Fine. Now let's then go back to the controllers. Base controller. Let me define the API controller. Now here we have a controller base, right? Now as we have already cleared about our today's motive, so we have to create the two methods. First will be the get product. So what we will do, that let me define public, and we have to define the list of, we can say, product model, right? We have to add the namespace over here, as we have successfully added the namespace, and we will give name like get products. Now in this we have to return the product. So how we can return that? As of now we will take, we can say, one static list, so that will be absolutely work fine for us. Let me take public static list of a product model and product model, right? Yeah. So now what we will do, that whatever the products we are getting, that product we are going to insert in this particular static list. Afterwards we will return that list, right? So let me just return product models. Now similar to this, we have to create a insert product API as well. So let me define, in this we will return just boolean, right? And boolean we will give a name like insert product, right? Product model will be there. We will take this product model from as a from body, right? From body. And what we will do here, that in this we will add our this model to the product models, right? So first we will check if model double equal to null, just return the false. Rest what we have to do, that we have to add this model to the product models list, right? At the end we just return the true. So we are ready with our both method, get product and the insert product. So as we are developing an API, so we have to define the method for this. So this will be our HTTP get method, and we have to also define the attribute, naming attribute, like this will be the is calling attribute. So whenever I want to call this particular API, I have to write the /get products, right? Similar to this, this is our HTTP post API. In this, what will be the our routing, that will be our small insert product. Fine. So now we are clear with our both APIs, our get product and our insert product. Now we have to call this from the our product component. So to call from the our component, we have to define the HTTP client. So it is a one kind of protocol that will connect the both parties. So to work with the HTTP client, first you have to add the services for that. So let me add the services like add HTTP client. So successfully we have added the dependency for the HTTP client. Now we have to implement that on the our product side. Now we are here in the product. So first we have to define or inject HTTP client. As of now I am just directly injecting the HTTP client, but if you guys want to use the HTTP factory, that is also fine. Those are not known about the HTTP factory. I can say it is a parent of an HTTP client, that with the use of HTTP factory, afterwards you have to create an instance of a HTTP client, right? Okay, so this will be HTTP client. Fine. Now let's what we'll do on the initialization part. We have to, we can say on the initialization part we will get the products from the list or the from the API, and we will show. So as I have some lines of code, what we will do, that these lines of code will just show the products whatever we have in the list, correct? Okay. Yeah, so similar to the product model, I have to define the list of a product model. You can say product list. Fine, this is absolutely fine. Now I have to get this product list. So what I can do to product list, first we need to call this from the HTTP client, that get async JSON we can call, get from the JSON async. What we are getting as an JSON, that is list of an product model, correct? Now we have to give, here you can see in the parameters that we have to give the request URI. So to give them a full URL, you have to go to the properties, and just from the properties take this application URL. For the standard purposes, you have to define your base address in the add HTTP client at the time of development. But for the purposes to just show the how HTTP client will work, I am directly using this. So now here we will call the get products. Fine. Yeah. So we are done with that. Now on the initialization part, we are getting some data, or we are taking some data from the product list, and we are showing that to product list in the particular component. Now the part of valid submission, what we have to do now, the whenever user submit the some product data, we want to enter that submitted data to that list. So now how we can do that? That is, we are already getting this our data in the product model, right? As we have already implemented this in our earlier this crash course episodes, right? So if you are not aware about that earlier coding, you can go with that as well. I will already mention this link in the description as well. Yeah. Okay, so now what we have to do, that here we have to, you can say, I have to call the HTTP client, and now I have to insert the data into the product list. So how I can do that? That I have to call the post as a JSON ASCII. So in the JSON, what I am passing, that will be a product model. So similar to this, first I have to pass the URL. So what is my URL? That URL will be, and our endpoint is an insert product. Okay. Just for your more understanding purposes, if you guys want to give some more routing, you can give it here. Like whenever I want to call this particular controller, it should be like first /API, then will be my controller name. So XYZ you guys can give here. Yeah. Okay, and now we have to pass our product model. Yeah. So that's correct. Now we have successfully inserted this product to the product list. Now we have to take it back. So let me create one common method. In this we can get this product list, right? Product list is a list of a product model. Get, and let me give the method name like get products, in which we will return this, or this is our weight, so we have to define as an async, right? Public async list, right? Tasks. Fine. So now we will call this get product. Here get product. So now our same code will be reused. We can reuse it here as well. So once we are inserted successfully our product model to the we can say our product list, what we have to do, that now we have to get the all inserted data from that particular list. So now we can do the same as we have did in the initialization part, that again we will call this or get product. Yeah. So now we are fine with that. Okay. So now how it will work, that at the initialization part, our list of a table of a product table data, it will be a blank, as there will be a no such data once I will add some data, it will be added to our list. And just to make sure that our list should be updated runtime, we can put the state has changed. This is the, I can say, you can read here, that notifies the component that its state has changed. When the applicable, this will cause the component to be re-rendered. In some of the cases, might be your component not rendering properly. So just make to ensure that your component should know that the something is changed in our particular component. So once you run the state has changed, it will notify your component that something is changed in your component, just you have to re-render it. So it will work fine. Let me run this. Okay, project is getting built. Okay, so we can come back to our dashboard. Let me go to this page. Yeah, so as I've said, initially we don't have any data in this particular table. Now let me insert product 1, price will be 10 rupees and description will be description. Let me submit. Okay, why we are not getting, let me put it debug here. What is wrong? Okay, let's put the debug so we can identify what is wrong. Okay, we are not getting even call to this HTTP get method, so we need to identify that why it is happening. So we are getting called to this get products or not. I think just to debug I have to close this project again, then I have to run. Let me check in the product. On initialize we have called get from JSON, and this is our get products. I think things are already correct, no problem. We will debug together and find the solution. Okay, so we are successfully getting called to the product models, but we need to identify that why we are not getting called in the inserted product. So as you are able to see that we are getting called in the get products, but not we are getting called in the, I can say, in the post method. Why? Okay, we need to identify this, that insert product. Okay, we have given the correct URL or not. Okay, yeah. So here you can see that in the post async method we have to give the correct URL, as it was a get product, so it will not call the get method as well, as we have a defined here that method should be a post, but our get method was already working as an HTTP get, so it will not even call to that method as well, right? So now let me run it again. I think now this will work fine, so no need for the debug. So we will just remove the debug point. Okay, now let me add product 1, price will be 50 rupees and description will be description. Let me yeah. So now you can able to see here that we have successfully added this to list. Now let me add product 2 with the price 40 and description will be description 1. Once I will submit, yeah. So things are working fine. So similar to this, as we have just developed one HTTP get and post method in the Blazor, similar to this you are able to define the put method, delete method as well. So this was all about the HTTP client, that in particular Blazor, which are the dependency you have to inject while you are working with the API or REST API with the use of an HTTP client. So this was all about that. Stay tuned about our next video. We will connect again. If you have any doubt regarding this, you can comment it down below. We will meet soon. Yeah, bye. Thanks.